Welcome to the sixth night of Lot, the sixth oracle night. In the dark time, in the silent time, this marks the conclusion of this particular Advent time or silent time on 20th and 21st of December. And the theme of that night is called the end and the beginning. Hello again, here is Aditya Novotny, author of the 12 Essential Holy Nights and the 6 Nights of Lot. I welcome you to this age-old tradition, more than 2,500 years old, that has been used in Celtic traditions, in old Germanic traditions, as well as ancient Slavic traditions. So throughout Europe, this time before winter solstice has been regarded as not only a mysterious time, a dark time, a cold time, but in particular also a very meaningful time, because these particular 6 nights of Lot or 6 oracle nights were used and can be used to predict your coming year. In that way, also the 6 nights of Lot are a perfect tool to prepare for the essential holy nights. And the theme, the topic of this particular night, today on the 20th of December sunset till 21st of December sunset, is the end and the beginning, in Christianity often called the Night of St. Thomas. And I will tell you more about all these things and connections and hidden truth during this live stream. So welcome, and let us dive right in. Here you see the overview of these 6 nights of Lot. They are nights of fate and happen in the period between November 24th and December 21st. Today is 20th of December, so we're going into 21st of December, and this is the night of St. Thomas. The meaning of that night is the end and the beginning. The other nights have already passed. Hopefully you were able to participate in them, to use them. However, if you were not able to use them, there's still a lot to come, particularly this 6th night of Lot and then the winter solstice, about which I'm also going to give live streams. Now, to put this whole thing a little bit more into perspective, if you never heard about these nights of Lot or oracle nights or nights of fate preceding the 12 holy nights, I give you here a timeline. First, we have the silent time, and the silent time starts on November 24th, in the night from November 24th to 25th, and it goes all the way till December 20th, which is today. So today, the last night of Lot. Before that, we have carnival time, first part. Actually, there is a little mistake there. Let me take care of that mistake. It's carnival time, ball season, first part. And if you are familiar with carnival or ball season, it's always confusing. Why is there first part in the time before Advent time starts, before November 24th, and then why is there a time after the 6th of January? That means starting again with 7th of January. And this shows a perfect symmetry around the axis of winter solstice. So you see on the left side, carnival ball season first part, November 11th to November 24th. On the right side, after the 12 holy nights have ended on January 6th, you see January 7th to Ash Wednesday, carnival and ball season second part are taking place. So basically people were dancing, having fun, partying around in the first part of November, and then after the holy nights were over, after Epiphany, after the night of the three magi. So what does it indicate to us? It indicates to us that we are in the world first in November dancing, and then we are back in the world from January 7th on. And again, we start dancing and having our fun before fasting season starts with Ash Wednesday. Now, what is in between is our special interest. In between is first, before winter solstice, this so-called silent time or Advent time, as it's called in Christianity, or also the Nights of Lot or the Nights of Fate. After the winter solstice, which is like an axis, we have the 12 holy nights or the 12th starting with winter solstice, December 21st, and going all the way to January 6th, Epiphany. And in between these 12 holy nights, we have another axis, and that axis is the New Year. So when we turn from December 31st to January 1st to the New Year. So it's quite interesting that here you see a lot of symmetries and a lot of changing cycles. What happens now before winter solstice? It's the silent time or Advent season or nights of prediction, nights of prophecy, nights of the oracle, or nights of Lot, when we turn our gaze inward. We connect with our inner world, the causal plane, the plane of ideas, and we receive creative thoughts that begin to flow in from above and give us ideas, meaningful ideas for the new year in a subtle form. Like Plato called this the world of ideas or plane of ideas where creator ideas come in from. And that is what we are particularly in this sixth night of Lot gathering and also writing down. And today is this final sixth night of Lot, where I will also explain to you what are the rituals. Now comes at the end the winter solstice, and the winter solstice is kind of the northern axis and the astronomical beginning of the new year. It can be used to align ourselves, to orient ourselves or to orient yourself to your heart and the sun, as well as your crown center with the North Star. I repeat, winter solstice is about aligning your heart with the sun and aligning your crown chakra with the North Star or Pole Star. And this is the big axis. When you get that axis right, when you get that crossover into the new year in winter solstice right and be aligned, it bodes very well for you for your coming year of 2026. Now we have, after winter solstice, we have the holy nights, the 12 holy nights, and they go until January 6th, Epiphany, and we turn our gaze first inward. What do we see inside ourselves in relation to what will be manifested in the 12 months ahead and what will manifest itself, and then we turn our gaze forward. So the difference between silent time, we turn our gaze inward and upward to receive the ideas, the signs and portents, so to speak. Whereas in the holy nights, we turn our gaze first inward, but then forward. What are we going to manifest in the 12 months ahead? And we do a lot of writing work in this time. We write. I really recommend you, if you don't have it yet, to have a big journal, at least 100 pages, and you write in this journal first the six nights of Lot and what ideas you received, And what happened in these 6 nights of Lot, or 6 oracle nights? And I recommend you to turn to the 12 holy nights and write down also the meaning of each of the holy nights, what signs you received, what clues you received, what dreams you had, what important things were happening during the 12 holy nights after winter solstice. So we are dealing with the time before winter solstice and after winter solstice. And again, the silent time or nights of Lot, we turn inward and upward. The 12 holy nights after winter solstice, we first turn inward and then forward, because it is about what do we wish to manifest. And this is, in short, the meaning of this time after the first part of Carnival or ball season, starting with November 24th, and before the beginning of the second part of Carnival or ball season on January 7th all the way to Ash Wednesday. So I hope that makes some determinations for you what we are dealing with. And the good question is, of course, how did people of olden times, how did they have already these dates? Where do they get them from? How did they gain these insights? And why should we care today? Why is it interesting for us even today? And the answer to that you can find for yourself. In my perception, human existence, human life, and also the cycles of nature or the cycles of the universe have not changed as much as to say this is all irrelevant nowadays. Of course, it is still relevant because it's the same stars, it's the same seasons on our planet. And even if we have become as human beings a little more beings of techno world and a little bit less beings of the biological world. So we are drawn in between the biosphere and the technosphere. And nowadays, many people are drifting more towards the technosphere. However, we are still natural beings, and we are coinciding with the seasons of nature, with the cycles of nature. And this is why these old cycles and the prophecies, the predictions that can be made, as well as, and that is before winter solstice, as well as the manifestation work and scripting work that can be done after winter solstice, is highly important, maybe even more important now than ever, because we are really at the turn of a new age. Things are changing decisively. In 2026, the speed is further picking up. Many people will be forced to look at the new. That's what my subconsciousness wanted to tell you. And we will be confronted with new situations that sometimes we will not be even able to know the answer to, or how do we deal with this, because the world is changing. Now, this is also the reason why I give these live streams and why I give the 12 essential holy nights again, because probably now more than ever, they are important and they can be a great guidance vehicle as well as a great anchor for you in these times of change. So enjoy the rest of the live stream, and let us go now more into the 6th holy night, the night of Saint Thomas. And in the holy nights, we have historically first these Celtic, Germanic, Slavic traditions in these nights of Lot, in these nights of fate. But when Christianity came several centuries later, they put Christian saints on top of these meaningful days and nights. And you will ask, why is it 20th to 21st? The meaning of this 20th to 21st means from sunset of 20th to sunset of 21st. Like the holy nights, also the nights of Lot go always from sunset to sunset. St. Thomas was an apostle of Jesus, but he was the doubtful one. He didn't believe. He was always doubting, and he was the last one to finally believe the miracle of Jesus' resurrection. He had to put his fingers into the wounds of Jesus before he would not believe. However, that doubtful one, and by the way, see his gesture with the finger up and the finger with the blood of Jesus, that's the ego finger. I used to give lectures speaking like this to people, and I had an Ayurvedic doctor in the audience, and he said, "Oh, this is the stinky finger. This is the ego finger." And I said, "What do you mean? I wash my fingers. It's not a stinky finger." He said, "No, this is, we call that in India because it is the ego finger. When somebody gesticulates like that, that's usually the sign of a big ego." Now, he was right. I had a big ego, probably I still have a big ego nowadays, but also this is a typical sign of people who are very intellectual and who are telling others what is right and what is wrong. And at the same time, these people who are so intellectualized are still doubting deep inside. And St. Thomas was a typical example of that species. This is why I find it interesting that he's even portrayed with that finger. So St. Thomas, the doubtful one, the one who didn't believe to the very end, but on the other hand, the one who went further for Jesus than any other apostle, because St. Thomas went all the way to India to missionize, first to Iraq, Baghdad, then to Iran, and then even all the way to India. And he was buried in India. So before we go deeper into his story, let me tell you about the four principal rituals that we use in each of the nights of Lot. There's first an oil ritual, or it could be also a smudging ritual. And that oil ritual or smudging ritual is usually done with an oil or with smoke that coincides with the theme of that particular night of Lot or oracle night. So in this case, it has to do with the end and the beginning. It has to do with believing and doubting. And that is the first thing. And I will advise you on which essential oils you can take today or during this night from 20th to 21st for this night of the end and the new beginning. Secondly, we will look and gaze into the sky, into the night sky. And it's quite a dark night at the moment because we just had new moon. That means no moon on the sky. So it will be a really dark night of Lot, this sixth night of Lot. And the traditional way how you would do it is you would go into the forest to a T junction, and you would stop there where another road crosses the road where you just approached that T crossing. And there you would just stay in silence for 15 to 30 minutes and just gaze into the darkness or gaze above the trees or gaze into the night sky and also listen, become silent. And not only gaze and listen, but also feel into the night. And I know that sounds quite spooky. Well, it can take some courage, but believe me, there are no people around. It's too cold for most people. In a big city, probably you should not do that. If you're living in a big city, you should just gaze out of your window or just gaze into the night sky from your balcony. And it is said that the strongest effects you will have if you do that before midnight. So go into the forest to a T junction or do it from the window or the balcony. Stay there for 15 to 30 minutes to see to listen, and to feel what will be important for you in 2026 in terms of new beginnings and endings. New beginning and ending. What should end and what will begin? You may receive crucial clues and downloads in this second part of the ritual, the gazing into the night, clues and downloads from the causal plane or the world of ideas, how Plato called it. Afterwards, you go back home or you go back to your Holy Night's journal, your journal, and you make notes in your journal about everything that came to your mind regarding that theme of, in this case, the end and the beginning. The end and the beginning. And then we have fourth, after you are journaling, after you are writing. So remember, first part is the oil ritual. Second part is gazing into the dark night. Third part is writing down things, impression that you got. And then finally, you go to bed and you pay attention to your dreams. Write them down on December 21st, which is the day of St. Thomas. What did the dreams that you had in this night tell you about what you should end, about what should begin in your new year? These are the 4 rituals. And on the next day, on the day of St. Thomas itself, you can still take notes. For example, after the night, what dreams did you have? What came to your mind during that night from 20th to 21st? And you write that down. Now, why did you do that? And why would you do that? The reason is that while you're doing it with your conscious mind, your conscious intelligence, all these work, you are at the same time with your superconsciousness and your subconsciousness participating, particularly with the oils, this fragrance ritual, and particularly with gazing into the darkness and seeing, listening, feeling something that doesn't have a form. And you're basically receiving wholesome impressions or messages or realities that will help you for the holy nights, the 12 Rauhnächte, and it will help you for the whole coming year, because in this time, the silent time, the nights of Lot, we get a lot of directions, inner directions. And this is why even in the old times, our forefathers did these rituals, which is kind of crazy if you think about that. Even how do you get the idea to do such things, to do such rituals? Well, they did. They had the intelligence, they had the openness, they had the inspiration to do these things. Now, let's look at St. Thomas more closely. The apostle St. Thomas, who died around 72 after Christ, according to tradition in Malapur, near Madras, or today's Chennai in India, was a fisherman and one of the 12 apostles. The name of Thomas is derived from the Aramaic ta'am, which means mated or twin. In the Syriac tradition, he appears as Judas Thomas. And don't get confused by the name Judas Thomas, because it's not the Judas we know. It was just Judas Thomas. Like Peter, St. Peter was in fact Simon Peter. As Thomas is understood there as an epithet. Thomas was outwardly, from his appearance, very similar to Jesus, but he was very scholarly, very mental, very intellectual, and he was known for his doubts. And he showed this at the Last Supper. Jesus, after announcing his imminent death, said that he was going to prepare a place for the disciples, so that they too could be there, with the words, "And wherever I go, you know the way there." Doubtful Thomas intervenes and says, "Lord, we don't know where you are going. How then can we know the way?" His question prompted Jesus to utter one of his famous "I am" words. Probably you're familiar with "I am." "I am" is the most powerful utterance you can do. Jesus, for example, said, "I am that I am." In "I am" lies the creative power of God. And whatever you say after "I am" becomes a reality. That means if you say, "I am a genius," "I am a genius," "I am a genius," it definitely helps to make you more intelligent because it's a self description and a self creation. However, if you would say, "I'm an idiot," and I don't repeat this more than once, then you would prepare yourself to be exactly that. So Jesus said, "I am the way and the truth and the life." I am the way and the truth and the life. After his crucifixion, Jesus appeared to the apostles, but Thomas was not present. It was not until the eighth day that Jesus returned, stood in their midst, and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Stretch out your finger and put it in my wounds. Here are my hands. Stretch out your hand and put it in my side, and do not disbelieve, but believe." So Jesus himself offered his wounds to the doubting Thomas to put his fingers into his wounds. Believe. Thomas answered him, "My Lord and my God." Finally, it dawned on him. Jesus said to him, "Because you have seen me, you believe. Blessed are those who do not see and yet believe. Blessed are those who do not see and yet believe." As I said, this was basically it. From then on, Thomas was one of the most active apostles of Jesus. You can search him out on the internet. It's fascinating stories how he first went to Baghdad, and the king of Baghdad wanted to keep him there forever because of his wisdom, his expertise, his scholarship. But he knew he had to go all the way to India. And next stop was Persia, today's Iran, where St. Thomas stayed for a while to missionize the Christian faith. But he went all the way to Madras, to Malapur, nowadays close to Chennai, where he finally found his end. By the way, he was killed by some Hindu yogis or fakirs who were of the dark side. So mostly yoga is on the side of light, but there were some negative ones, some negative magicians that didn't like St. Thomas spreading the light of Jesus in India. So the symbols of St. Thomas are the book, his erudition, the upturned index finger, the smart finger or sticky finger or ego finger, or however you wish to call it, the spear, and the protractor, which is why he is an important figure to Freemasons. It is said that St. Thomas stands at the beginning of Freemasonry, although it's well known that Freemasonry, of course, goes all the way back to ancient Egypt. Like St. Nicholas had a dark part, the Krampus, or the Swarte Piet, and St. Lucy had the Bloody Luce. St. Thomas has also a dark twin, the Tamar, with the hammer, the Tamar with the hammer, or the Stammer mit dem Hammer. And that is, again, a Germanic figure, a Thor figure with a hammer. You know, the hammer of Thor, Thor's hammer, who awakens people from their ignorance by hitting the ground with a hammer. And this was basically what St. Thomas was doing after he was finally illumined, after he finally started to believe wherever he went. Basically, he really shook the earth, he shook the people, so they awakened to faith. In the night of St. Thomas, you can see the future, your future beloved, or your future self in a dream. I repeat that. Remember the fourth part of the ritual of the Nights of Lot, after the oil ritual, after gazing into the darkness, after journaling, writing down the things, you go to sleep and you watch your dreams. And the night of St. Thomas, the night from 20th to 21st, is famous for you being able to see your future, your own future, you being able to see your future beloved, or your future self in a dream. So watch for your dreams. They are quite interesting in this night of St. Thomas. So now let us look at the oil rituals. I recommend you for 6th night of Lot, 20th to 21st of December, to use first the Belief oil blend. As usual, you can take Belief and inhale it directly from the bottle. This is called aromatic breathing, and immediately it helps you to be more on the believing side than on the doubting side, because as you noticed, doubt of the doubting Thomas is a theme of that night, where all the old things can end and the new things can begin. This is the night where the old time ends, the old period ends, and where the future begins. This is why this particular night is so important. And so I suggest for your oil ritual, your fragrance ritual, aromatic breathing, if you're a beginner, 1 to 3 minutes from the bottle with Belief. If you're advanced, 3 to 5 minutes concentrated aromatic breathing from the bottle. When you do that, do it, of course, in complete silence. And you will notice it's a tremendous oil blend. It has amazing effects. And watch what you feel inside your body. In which parts of your body is there a reaction to the scent of the oil? Where does that oil of Belief go to? What thoughts come up while you're breathing Belief? What emotions come up? And you might wish to apply Belief also to parts of your body or chakras. Belief is especially good to be applied on the, so as always, you put it on your hand first, then activate it clockwise. You apply it on your third eye, your wisdom eye. You apply it on your throat, speaking truth. You apply it on your heart chakra in the center of the chest, and you apply it on the crown. So Belief is a blend that you can put on any chakra. You need Belief in any center of consciousness. So you can also do the backward fontanella and the forward fontanella. You can put it on the forehead, you can put it on the throat, speaking words that you believe in, speaking words that others will believe in. You are able to put it on your heart chakra. You can put Belief, of course, also on your ankles. It is also, or wrists, better to say ankles in the feet. It's also possible you put on the ankles and you put on your wrists. And it's also a great perfume. Now, let us explore, what does Belief do? The Belief oil blend contains Idaho blue spruce for energy. It is the oil that has the highest measured frequency of 428 megahertz. As well as ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is a flower oil that balances the yin and the yang, the female and the male. This belief oil blend has a pleasant aroma that is both grounding and revitalizing. By the way, it is a great oil blend also for the bathtub. You can take a bath in belief. You can apply it on your feet because it is grounding. Or you can apply it all over your body and take a shower afterwards. You're basically showering in belief. Also included in this blend are the Idaho Grand Fir and frankincense, which can support feelings of strength and faith. Grand Fir or balsam fir is one of the mightiest trees that exists on the planet, and the frankincense is the most spiritual of oils. Together with other essential oils, this combination of oils can help you achieve higher consciousness. Higher consciousness, divine consciousness, belief in yourself, belief in God, belief in that things are right as they are. Just as you will be able to work through emotional hurdles and setbacks, you will also be able to reach your true potential if you're using the belief oil blend. So if you are a doubtful Thomas, or if you are like I was, a very intellectual type, gesticulating with your finger and trying to convince other people because you don't really believe deep inside yourself, with the use of belief, you become deep believer. And you don't have to convince anyone anymore because you are yourself convinced. And by your conviction, you will automatically convince others. Belief for all the chakras, belief for showering, belief for the bathtub, belief, of course, also for the diffuser. I love it in the evening before I go to bed, just by the bedside, to sleep with the belief blend. But also belief as aromatic breathing. These are just some suggestions how you can use this blend. And of course, you can apply it on any part of your body where you wish. If you have any questions, please write in the chat. I see from Carmen Tudoraque. Hello, Carmen. So nice. You are still in Egypt. Okay. You sent me a message. I will check that out. Thank you. Any other questions, please be kind enough to put it in the chat. Then I can answer your questions. Now let's go to the second oil. The second oil that I recommend you for the night of St. Thomas, for this final 6th night of Lot, which signifies the end of the old and the beginning of the new, that is higher unity. And higher unity is one of the most expensive blends that exists, one of the most expensive oil blend that exists. And you will ask why? Well, the reason is because of the ingredients. This is a little oil bottle, 5 milliliters, that costs around $150 US, $150 US, or approximately 150 euros. Now, I wouldn't recommend such an expensive oil if it were not a true miracle oil. So let us explore a little bit why is higher unity so special. It consists of sacred sandalwood and sacred frankincense. Sacred sandalwood and sacred frankincense. So the highest form of sandalwood and the highest form of frankincense. It consists of jasmine and rose, the two most precious flower oils. Rose for the heart, for divine love, and jasmine also for the heart, for purifying the heart from impure emotions. So rose and jasmine, sacred sandalwood and sacred frankincense for highest spirituality, higher unity, uniting yourself with the divine above, and jasmine and rose, uniting yourself with your divinity within, with your divine within your heart. This is the hallmark of this blend, but it has more. It has lime and lemon. Lime and lemon are both citrus oils that help us to be more concentrated, to be more focused. Now you can tell that St. Thomas, when he went all the way to Baghdad, then to Persia, and finally to India, to Madras, he was definitely focused. Like his spear, he was following his path. No one could take him off his path. If you use higher unity, you will experience a great direction. You will experience how you become more directed, how you become more one-pointed, thanks to this combination of lime and lemon with sacred frankincense and sacred sandalwood. Then you have spearmint inside, and spearmint is a more gentle form of the mint plant. It's not as strong as peppermint, and it gives us a sense of relaxation and ease. Particularly teenagers love spearmint. And then you have Northern Lights black spruce inside, and the black spruces in the northern polar cycle, they're really high trees, 55 to 60 meters high, and they're really channeling down the northern light. They're really bringing down the northern light. So higher unity is an oil that connects you with the highest, divine, sacred sandalwood, sacred frankincense, with your own divinity, and it connects you with your inside, with your divine love, with your soul, with the rose and the jasmine. It connects you with your goals, unity also with your goals through lime and lemon, so that forward-going motion, and it connects you with heaven and earth. I took a few drops of this precious oil and I applied on all the 7 chakras. Higher unity should be applied on all the 7 chakras. You will have a marvelous effect if you do so. Other than applying it to all the chakras, I definitely suggest you use it aromatically. That means you use it straight from the bottle. 1 to 3 minutes of aromatic breathing if you're a beginner. 3 to 5 minutes of aromatic breathing from the bottle if you are advanced. Higher unity has an uplifting, inviting aroma that encourages personal focus and spiritual balance, evoking feelings of openness and unity with yourself as well as with others. It creates a sense of oneness with others and with yourself, and is designed to help you bring your community together in balance and in purpose. By inhaling this wonderful fragrance, higher unity is also an ideal partner for your spiritual practice and meditation to bring more peace into your daily life. So you see me breathing this deeply. And I don't know if you can feel it across the video. It brings a deep inner peace, a union, or even a oneness with the higher, with the inner, and with that which is before me. And this is the beginning. Remember the end, and it should be an end to your doubts. You should start believing. This is the night for it. So give up your fears, give up your doubts, start believing, use the belief blend, and then also go for that higher unity. Unite yourself with your most noble parts, your most divine parts. Okay. Now, why are we doing this? Particularly, the nights of Lot are practiced to make the holy nights even more effective. We talked about that in the beginning of this video. This is just a reminder. If you wish to participate in the 12 essential holy nights, you can do so. This exists as a German language program as well as an English language program. And the essential holy nights take place from tomorrow onwards, preparation day 1, December 21st, till Epiphany, that is 6th of January 2026. These are 15 sessions for the Holy Nights proper and the whole manifestation work that you do. Ideally, if you have done the Nights of Lot before, you can integrate what you have achieved through the Nights of Lot. Then there is another possibility. You can even add the whole year, the Essential Holy Nights year, to it, where I'm giving you live streams at the beginning of each month. They are usually 1.5 to 2 hour live streams for each month of the year to help you reconnect with what you worked out during the Holy Nights, during the Nights of Lot, of course, and to make it then really happen in the particular month. Included in the Essential Holy Nights here is also the Chan Chong exercises. That's standing like a tree. That's the most powerful form of Qigong in my mind, or Tai Chi, Chuan, special form. Then included is also my monthly forecast, cosmological forecast. Each month you will receive an exact analysis of the planets, the suns, the north nodes, the karmic situations, and so on. And each month you will receive the new moon ritual. Just earlier today, we had the new moon ritual for Sagittarius, and it comes really together with the winter solstice. Within less than 2 days, we have new moon in Sagittarius and winter solstice. What does it mean? It predicts us a very powerful new year. A lot of things are going to happen in 2026. On top of this, I'm also offering personalized private coaching. There are 3 bundles in this program, and you get it for only if you click the link, and you find the link in the video description. If you click the link, you will come to a page that looks like this. And there you see at the bottom, starting at US dollars 97. Now, 97 for 3 years, that is. That means you get 15 live streams, you get the audio books, so it means you can use them wherever you're going. You get the PDFs, and it is for 3 years of 15 live streams each. So altogether 45 live streams full of information, full of rituals, full of techniques. If you choose the Holy Nights year, you get an additional 12 live streams times 3. So altogether 81 live streams that guide you not only through the Holy Nights, but through the whole year 2026 as well, 2027 as well as 2028. That's right. If you are securing package number 3 or bundle number 3, you just get the Holy Nights for 3 years, this year, next year, and in 2 years. If you're securing your Essential Holy Nights package, which is bundle number 2, you're even getting 3 full years of monthly live streams on top of it. And if you're securing bundle number 1 for yourself, you get me as your personal mentor. We meet 4 times a year in the beginning of winter, which will be relatively soon, in the beginning of spring, in the beginning of summer, and in the beginning of autumn. I will do a 1-hour Zoom call with you, listen to you, find a little bit what are the themes, the topics, and then help you to become conscious of what are your next steps. And the speciality of this particular coaching, Holy Nights coaching, Holy Nights year coaching, is that it is in tune with the whole year cycle. So we take into consideration the time of the year, the season. This is just if you're interested, and most of you will probably say, okay, these preparation days and nights, these Nights of Lot, they're already so intense that I don't wish to go any further. Well, do go further, because 2026 will be a year where you should go further. 2026 will bring you further than maybe any other year before. Andreas, thank you so much for showing up. I wish you also a great evening and a blessed night of Lot number 6, the end and the beginning. So this is it. This is the final night of Lot, the 6th night of Lot, the end and the beginning. You know what to do. You know now the oils. Do your aromatic ritual. Then go and gaze into the darkness. Then write down things in your journal and then watch your dreams and remember the dreams in the night of St. Thomas are particularly important. They tend to predict your future in a very succinct and very exact way. So watch out for your dreams. And then tomorrow, on the 21st of December, you might want to write down what you have dreamt. But also tomorrow, on the 21st of December, we have another live stream coming up, the Winter Solstice meditation. So if you're around that time on the internet, you might be able to catch the live stream on the Winter Solstice meditation, which is one of the most powerful moments of the whole year. See you soon and have a great night of Lot number 6.